speak about that goal.
Sunil Chhetri!
One of India's greatest footballers, Sunil Chhetri.
One of my economics teacher asked me, why do you keep wasting your time playing on the football pitch?
Why were you wasting your time in the economic class?
Whenever I play Pakistan, the moment the whistle blows, something happens.
Don't kick the Pakistanis, kick the ball.
And the message to kids now, sir.
Whatever the hell you become, you better be good at it. Because they suddenly sprung Sunil on me. Otherwise I would have come… You know, I have… two English clubs have given me their t-shirts with my name on it, I would have come with that.
They would love to know the clubs, sir.
I got an Everton one and Arsenal one. Because we worked with Everton with their players for some time, so they made the Everton players made a t-shirt for me with my name and number 8 on it. I didn't like it, I want to go 2 numbers up, but
So how was the experience, sir, talking to the Everton players? Was it the first time you're meeting players?
no, we worked with the Indian hockey team and things like that before. But Everton invited us because their physio went through our programs and his life dramatically changed, and he said, our players have to go through this. You know, Tim Cahill and others were there at that time. So we worked with them for a few weeks and I think that year in the Premier League they finished number 7 or 6, I think.
That's great for a club.
They did well.
And by the way, Tim Cahill, superstar, is here in India now, playing in the Indian Super League.
Really?
Yeah, he just signed for Jamshedpur FC.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
know, I thought he was playing in China.
He was. This year already signed for Jamshedpur FC.
Oh.
And we'll see him in ISL. I think a lot of you guys do not understand how important words are for a football player. You know, I think I've watched what, 35 videos of yours in the last 2 days. And I have an honest confession. It's one thing to watch a Messi or Ronaldo video where you can watch the video and keep doing your stuff because you're doing your own stuff and you're still watching it. But your video, everything has to shut. And I'll tell you why, sir, from my experience. Because you don't want to miss out, number 1, and number 2, you will not get it. Tell me, please. Although so many things that you say is so simple, which we ignore nowadays, it has to be shut everything and then you go to watch it. So, thank you so much.
I can also kick a ball. But I'm sure we'll knock out something here.
So the question that I want to ask, and I'm sure a lot of people will agree, that when you're fighting every day to win stuff or to be a better version of yourself or to compete, how do you keep yourself calm?
So this is the whole thing. We think it's been taught in the world that if you want to be successful, you got to do this. Not necessary. Because in anything it is true, in every aspect of life it's true, but let's talk football. Even in football, well, there are some players who play very aggressively. They are not necessarily the greatest players. Essentially, you don't have to fight with anybody, you just have to kick the ball in the goal. Well, I'm not trying to make it simplistic. Of course, there are other people playing, but we are supposed to play with them. We are supposed to outplay them, not fight them. Fight them means we have to go against them. To play means to miss them.
Makes sense, yeah.
Essentially, you have to miss those guys and get to the goal, not fight with them. If you have the intent of fighting with them, obviously, you will go head on. I must tell you this. This was probably early 2000, maybe 2003 or 4. We had worked with the previous earlier team when Pargat Singh was heading the hockey team. But later on, all of them had retired and Dilip Tirki was heading the team. He's from your region, right? So, I was just passing through Chennai airport and this secretary of the Indian Hockey Federation came up to me and said, Sadhguru, our boys, they're all going to Champions Trophy to Germany. This is the first time they're even going out of the country, many of them. Please come and say something. So I walked down and they had some kind of a psychologist who was trying to pep them up. He was telling them, "Aapka maa baap ka इज्जत है इसमें, देश का इज्जत है." 1 billion people, 1 billion people are waiting for you to bring Champions Trophy, you cannot fail them. These are all 18, 19-year-old boys. They're like 1 billion people and maa baap ka इज्जत. Then I looked at these guys are just terrified. So when my turn came, I went up and asked, I said, you guys know, you guys like to play hockey? He said, yeah. I said, you know hockey or you just like… No, we know how to play. So I said, the moment you get on the airplane, forget goddamn India and your parents and everybody else nonsense. All you have to do is, you must have lust to put the ball in the goal. You don't even count, somebody else will count. Your business is to constantly see the ball is in the goal, in the opposite goal, of course. And no, but they have to beat Pakistan. I said, you don't have to beat Pakistan, you just have to hit the ball, huh? Why do you want to beat Pakistan with a hockey stick? You just have to hit the ball. But these kind of things have been built up that we are fighting somebody. You don't have to fight anybody. People are always thinking fighting spirit, killing instinct, all this not needed. If we train people from an early age that they have to be just smooth as silk, nobody should be even able to come near you. The greatest players were like that, they were just running away with the ball, all others running all over, not knowing where they're going. So, essentially you don't have to fight anybody, you just have to get the ball where you have to. For this you don't need fighting spirit, killer instinct, any of these things. All you need is work on the skill, work on the skill, work on the skill, which doesn't come because you wish. Skill won't come because you desire. Victory will not come because you desire. Every fool wants to win, but only those who have the competence will win in the end.
That really makes sense. In fact, India is playing Pakistan today, sir. And you won't believe, in the morning, our under-23 team has gone to SAF Cup. Rest all the other SAF nations, they are bringing their senior team. But all of us seniors are not playing in this tournament. Of course, I'm here. So I had to send a message. Before a game, I sent a message in the group. I did tell them, boys, no red cards. Do not get emotional. Don't think about it's a game against Pakistan.
Don't kick the Pakistanis, kick the ball.
But sir, why I message them is because whenever I play Pakistan, I did play Pakistan, it is very strange, sir. We are having lunch, everything is fine, bhaijan, aap kaise hain, and all the stuff. The moment the whistle blows, something happens, and I want to be honest. Something happens and you think the game is more than the game. I think it's because it's ingrained in our brains.
No, it's 70 years of negative emotion.
And because I've experienced this, I send them a message. I know it's going to make no difference, because they will get it on the pitch and they will think the same thing that I was thinking. But still I told them no red cards and stuff like that. And
tell them just kick the ball.
Yeah, true.
Not the green players.
It actually really makes sense, sir, because whenever I am down in my sports, whenever I think I haven't played well, or I haven't scored goals, or I'm getting abused, or stuff like that, I go back to myself and think, why did I start playing football? It's because I enjoy it, and I love it. And suddenly when I do it, the whole thing goes numb and I play better. But then again I forget it. After like 6-7 months of good football, and again when I start playing bad because you play good and you play…
That's why I put up so many videos on the YouTube. Though I'm saying the same thing, it looks like I'm saying something new to you.
That's true, sir. No, I have watched a lot of videos of yours, and what I think, and I'm sure a lot of people will agree to it, it's so many simple things said in such a simple manner, but because we want to complicate our lives, suddenly we think, wow. Please tell me. Can you hear me, every one of you? So when I see your videos and I think, at that moment I think, wow, what a point. Then I go to my bed and I think, that is basic. Why didn't we think about this? You know what I mean? And the beauty of it is you explain it in such a simple way. It's so easy to understand, and I just hope when you're fighting so much in our lives, you understand that and take it on board.
I don't know all these people, what they're fighting, maybe domestic stuff. See, even if, let us say, you're in a fighting sport, let's say you're in boxing, so all you have to do is stamp on his foot and he gets so angry, after that he's nothing. Once he gets angry, he's nothing. He can be knocked down in no time. Even if they're much bigger than you, it doesn't matter, they're gone. So the moment they get emotional, the fundamental efficiency and competence of your body and your mind drops. In that state, how are you going to win? You're only going to dream of winning. You're not going to win any game, you're just going to dream about it. So, when there is substantial medical evidence today to show that only when you're in a pleasant state of experience, your body and your mind functions at its best. It doesn't matter what is the nature of sport or academics or music or whatever we are doing. What is the nature of activity, it doesn't matter. Whatever is the nature of activity, essentially success in the physical world is just how well you harness your body and your mind. That's all it is. And these two things you can do best only when you're in a pleasant state of experience. You must… we would like to see you next time when I come and watch you in the game, I will definitely come. We want to see you running on the football field with a big smile on your face. And my favorite player is Ronaldinho.
That makes so much sense, sir. You said stepping on the foot and making the other guy crazy. Do you guys remember Zinedine Zidane?
Yeah.
Do you remember him? So probably
Well,
one of the best players in the world.
yes, I know.
And you know what happened with Materazzi? And France didn't win that game. So that makes so much sense, sir, so much sense. Sir, but it's so difficult to keep your calm when somebody's elbowing your face and your eyes are about to pop out.
See, what counteraction you need to take, I won't suggest now. But if you need to take that action, also you must be in the best form of physical and mental state. So, well, people provoke you, people poke you in the ribs, they do all kinds of things, not just on the football field. All over Bangalore, they're doing it every day. Yes. At least there you have an umpire. If he pokes you very badly, there is a card. Here, nobody to give you a card. People are poking you all over the place. So, it is not in any one arena, it is there everywhere. In some places it may be physical, in some places it may be mental or emotional or whatever kind, but people are poking you in the ribs all the time, one way or the other. So, question is just this, are you competent to live in this world or not? Essentially it comes down to that, isn't it? Well, the football game as it was in 60s and 70s, people broke their thigh bones and hip bones, that's not there anymore. There are more red cards out there. Little bit of violence means he goes out. Any intentional violence, they're going out these days. But that was not the case. If you played a game with Uruguay or something, you come back with a broken hip or something like this. So, how do I do this? It's very simple. Say, suppose we give all of you let's say, soup-making ingredients. If I give all of you the same soup-making ingredients, do you believe that all of you will come up with the same kind of soup? Similarly, that's all that's happened with us. All of us are fundamentally same ingredients. See in how many ways we've become. So it's a soup-making skill. The question… you're just a chemical soup. I'm saying this is a chemical soup because whatever is the human experience of peacefulness, of joyfulness, of blissfulness, of ecstasy, of agony, of misery, of stress, anxiety, whatever you name it, all human experience has a chemical basis to it. So this is a chemical soup. Question is only, are you a great soup or a lousy soup?
And to become a great soup, how much do you think meditation helps? So I'll tell you why I'm asking this, sir. So when I was going through this bad phase, and I'm 30 plus now, so you tend to overthink. So I went to this guy who told me that you go to meditate and it'll help you. And he gave me some ideas of how to meditate. So the way I meditate is in a no noisy room, alone, I speak to myself. And I've realized that it helps me. And I also realized that how much I never spoke to myself. I'm speaking to my team, I'm speaking to everyone.
But just now you were saying you were listening to my videos. What?
So that is binge watching, sir. That is now. I'm talking about 8 months back. And then I realized when I'm talking to myself, I realize how much I've ignored myself when it comes to talking. So could you please emphasize on how important it is to meditate and to actually talk to ourselves?
Talking to yourself, well, that happens in immense. Well, let me tell you, what you're trying to do is to talk yourself out of things. You're trying to talk yourself out of certain things which tend to happen repeatedly. Some compulsive actions and compulsive behavior, you're trying to talk yourself out of it. But you must understand this, the nature of human mind is such, what you don't want is what will happen in your mind. Right now, as an experiment, we'll include the children also, Next 10 seconds, nobody should think of a monkey. What did you think? Monkey. Yes. So if you say, I don't want something, only that will happen. Because in the very nature of our mind, it is made like this, there is only addition and multiplication. There is no subtraction and division in this mind, in terms of thoughts I'm saying. If you say, I'm having too many thoughts, let me divide it or let me subtract it, there's no such thing. If you touch it, it will plus plus plus, it will go. If you try hard, it'll become multiplication, plus will become like this. It'll multiply, because this is a vehicle where all the three pedals are throttle. Whatever you touch, boom. So, in this mind, you do not employ such methods. There are some things psychiatrists, psychologists and others are giving cathartic ways that you talk yourself out. What you would abuse that guy, you abuse yourself and be done with it here before you go on the football field, this kind of stuff. But there is no abuse hidden in you. There is no anger hidden in you right now, is there?
No.
There isn't right now. Once in a way you create it. Why do you create it? Why would you create something that you don't want? You create it because one thing is, somewhere you believe it's a kind of power. Most people believe anger is power, but when it overtakes them, they suffer. Yeah. When they give a little dose to somebody and they get scared, they enjoy it. You know, I did boom and that guy got scared. It's nice. So once you think it's power, when it becomes overpowering over yourself, then it's a disaster. So, people can propel themselves into action with negative emotions like anger, resentment, hatred. Hatred is a fire which can make people do many, many things. A whole lot of people have done intense conquering and invasions out of hatred. Empowering yourself with negative emotions like this is, in the villages and small towns in Karnataka, this used to be there at one time, fortunately it's ended I think these days. When the Diwali comes, it's coming right now, what they will do, they will find a donkey and tie a string of crackers to its tail. Poor donkey, when the crackers start bursting, the donkey will run faster than a racehorse, terrified. But this is not the way to perform. This is going to cost life, this is going to destroy you in many ways. Well, Mr. Bolt runs very fast, not because his tail is on fire, because he's prepared his legs and lungs, because behind those legs and lungs there is a dedicated life, a life that is devoted to doing what they want to do. This is one thing we must understand. Whatever you want to do, whatever it is, whether it is music, art, sport, business, spirituality, it doesn't matter what. Unless you're absolutely devoted to what you're doing, you will never do anything significant. You will do mediocre stuff, you will survive, make a living. But if you want to do something significant, you must be absolutely devoted to whatever you're doing. Only then it will bring you to a place where you're significant in what you're doing. Otherwise, nothing. So, Mr. Bolt, people know him only like this. You've not seen him training? Day in and day out they'll be training, they can't eat what they want, they're careful about everything, every drop of water he drinks or what, everything is measured and taken care of. But his glory is just 9 seconds. Those 9 seconds has years of preparation.
That really makes sense, sir. And of course, didn't want to interrupt you, but… So the reason why I asked you this, and it makes sense, is because when I was talking to myself, I do talk to myself.
I'll tell you one thing. You come to me for 3 weeks because you said I'm over 30, that's a concern for a footballer. It is. For a sports person, it's always a concern, because the life of a sports person is short, brief. You have to rise spectacularly, otherwise if you go step by step like you're in a management, thing, you're not going to get anywhere, you have to rise like that. So over 30 is a concern. If you spend 3 weeks with me, I'll make you 5 years younger, how's that?
Sounds like a deal. Don't be happy, the offer is only for me. No, so I'll tell you why it makes sense, sir, because when I'm talking to myself, the most I'm doing, I want to be honest, the most I'm doing is do this, do this, do this. And why I say this? Because right now you said about food. So my talking right now maximum is, tomorrow you got 5 meals, make sure you eat whatever is prescribed and don't eat something that your body doesn't need. And so in the last 6 months, and food is one of the biggest thing in my career right now, has given me so much of better results in terms of the way I think first, because we all think it's about 6 packs and stuff like that. It is not. In the last 8 months, I've realized I'm more happier just because I'm taking care of my food. And right now, when you said that 4 years, the guy eats right and people don't see it and just the 9 seconds, that makes so much of sense. And that's one of the reasons why I talk to myself a lot. That make sure you're disciplined, make sure you're 30 plus, and make sure you don't waste time.
You spend 3 weeks with me, I will talk to you once, after that you don't have to talk to yourself.
That sounds like a deal, sir. But for normal people, so what is the best way to meditate?
What makes you think they're normal?
For everyone who is not playing for BFC, what do you think is the best way to meditate?
Now, we must understand, the English word meditation does not say anything specific, in the sense, if someone sits here with eyes closed, people think he's meditating. But as you said, you could be sitting here and talking to yourself, you could be thinking, you could be contemplating, maybe you're chanting a mantra, it's called japa, you may be doing tapa, which is a way of generating heat in the system, you may be doing dharana, dhyana, shunya, samadhi, some yama like this, there are many things. English language is not descriptive when it comes to inner dimensions. English language is very good outside, technically, materially it's a very good language. But when it comes to inner experiences, there are not enough words to describe the various dimensions of human experience that happens. So the word English meditation is very general, doesn't say anything specific. If we understand, if we want to understand the word meditation as dhyan or dhyana, being in Karnataka it's dhyana, okay. If you go to Tamil Nadu, it becomes dhyanam. So, if it is dhyan or dhyana that you're talking about, what it means is, if you sit here, your body is here, your mind is out there, what is you is somewhere else. That means there is a little distance between you and your body, between you and your mind. Once there is little distance between you and your body and your mind, suddenly everything is crystal clear. What you think is so complicated is very simple. It's just like, right now I came through… What a city you created, huh? There was a time when I lived in Mysore, if we just thought about it like that, this 140 kilometers, those days it was a single track road, but we would race to make it like in 1 hour 35 minutes, 1 hour 40 minutes, like this. And we would come to Bangalore, right down MG Road, and again turn back and go straight back to Mysore.
Impossible now.
What a beautiful city it was, and what have you made out of it in these last few years? It doesn't even feel like Bangalore, neither the temperature, nor the visually, nor the traffic, nor the people. Most of them are talking Hindi. So nothing feels like Bangalore, and I see even Hitler is back on the shelf. So, this dimension of what you call as meditation is essentially a little distance. So you're in the traffic, how bad it is. Suppose you took off in an airplane or a balloon, hot air balloon or something, you look down, this stuck-up traffic looks quite nice. Really. In the night especially, it looks quite nice when the traffic is jammed up. Have you seen this from the airplanes? But when you're in it, it's a totally different affair. When you're in it, the way you suffer it is one thing. Once there is distance, is a totally different affair. See, for example, this planet is round, though Bangalore people think it's flat. It's only from Bangalore they started, right? But Earth is flat once again. You know this? Somebody wrote a book called Earth is Flat.
From Bangalore?
Yes, about Bangalore. So, forever we argued. We would have continued to argue, because if you walk up and down this floor, you can feel it's flat, of course. But we started flying. We looked down, clearly it was round. Then we went and stood on the moon and looked down, 100% it is round, no argument anymore. This is what you need to do with your mind and your body. There's a little distance, suddenly everything is crystal clear. Simple things. For people have lived here for 50, 60 years, and they still don't know how to handle their thought and emotion. When are they going to learn? After 1,000 years? When? If you do not know how to handle your thought, how the hell did you live till now? I don't know. By accident. When you live by accident, anxiety is normal. How else can it be? Suppose accidentally you don't know how to ride a motorcycle or a car, let's say, accidentally it started rolling. Anxiety or no?
Yeah.
Picked up speed, fear or no?
Yep.
Became very fast, terror or no? But if you know how to drive, the faster it goes, the better it is. Yes or no? The same with your mind and body. Because you are enmeshed in it, haven't figured a damn thing about it, it looks very complicated, little distance. This is dhyan, this is meditation in a way. So if you create that little distance, suddenly everything is clear. What looked so complicated is just a simple thing.
That makes so much of sense, man. Every one of us, make sure we try this, huh? But while trying this, sir, and I want to be honest, and I know all of them want to say this. While trying this, we're still going back to the cocoon. Still the same problem, the same issues. How do we, like…
See, that is because you think meditation is some kind of an act. It is not an act. It is a consequence. If you cultivate your body, your intellect, your emotion and your energy in a certain way, meditation will happen as a quality, not as an act. People are doing 10 minutes meditation, they will freak themselves after some time, for sure. A whole lot of people. This survey was done, I think in 94 or 96, I'm not very sure about the date, but sometime in the 90s, early 90s, the Nimhans Institute did a survey and they found 8% of the inpatients, not outpatients, inpatients who come and stay in Nimhans for a period of treatment, 8% of them came because of improper yoga and meditation. Because if you forcefully try to do something with your mind, it will freak. It's very important when you have been given… Do you agree with me, this human mechanism is the most sophisticated machine on this planet? Do you agree with me? Have you read the user's manual? Then how? Then how do you use it? Just by accident?
So just few tips of not doing this mistake. How to go about it?
See, it is these tidbits which have destroyed people. The reason why spiritual process has become a ridiculous circus, I'm saying this consciously, it's become a circus because everybody is trying to do it on the street side. On the street side, they want to teach Gita. Krishna waited for many years. Arjuna and Krishna, you have Arjuna board. Arjuna and Krishna were intimate, they know each other so well. But Krishna waited till the last moment where there's an extreme situation where Arjuna's mind is being crushed. He waits for that moment to give the teaching. But all kinds of idiots are reading it on the street corner without creating any situation. Nobody knows what the hell it is, simply words and words and words. As you said, when you listen to it, suddenly you find you have to shut down everything and listen because as simple as it is, you don't get it. Because it is not its complex, but the simplicity is a problem for the human intellect. If you're trying to grasp things through intellect, complicated things you will grasp. Simplest things, people around me are always freaked because I'm telling them the simplest thing, but they're thinking through many things. Most simple things, because it is very simple. Birth is not your doing, death is not your doing, it happens, both of them happen. In between, you just have to be… Just have to be bindas. That's all. You don't have to give birth to yourself, nor do you have to kill yourself, both will happen naturally. What are you doing here? Everything is happening, you don't have to spin the planet and make it day and night, you don't have to do this and that, everything is happening. For you to be just here, be in tune with everything and receive the bounty of life, such a big mess, because they are looking at everything intellectually. When I say intellectually, the nature of your intellect is such. If I ask you a question, do you want a sharp intellect or a dull intellect? You must choose, I'm going to bless you right now. So essentially, you want a sharp intellect, that means it's a cutting instrument. It's like a knife. The sharper, the better. You don't want a blunt knife, you want a sharp knife. Now, this is the only instrument you have in your life. For everything you use a knife. If you want to stitch your clothes, you use a knife. Where's that girl gone? I think she used a knife on her pants. If you use your knife to stitch, you will leave it in tatters, isn't it? Yeah. That's all you're doing to your life. That is all. You are just leaving it in tatters simply because you're using a knife to handle everything. I must tell you this experience of mine. That was a time when I literally lived on a motorcycle. I rode across the country without a destination, simply till I hit the borders and turn around and ride here, there. Just wanted to see the country. Almost 5.5 to 6 years, I literally rode across the country. So I was somewhere, I'm not sure whether I was in Madhya Pradesh or Uttar Pradesh. Whole night I was riding. I was known for this even now that I could ride for 3 nights and days continuously without sleep. Every day covering like anywhere between 800 to 1200 kilometers.
Please do not do it yourself. It requires a different personality altogether. Not advice, please.
See, now anything you do, you have to put a warning. Young people have become like this. Otherwise, they will go and fall into the ditch. There is a ditch, danger, do not walk. When you are young, nobody need to mark anything. You have to have everything open and you know what the hell is happening. But you have to tell them, caution, speed, this, that. This is for old people over 85 when they're shaking. You tell them, where is the drain, where is this, where is that. But now young people are becoming like this because they'll walk into anything.
So true.
Do you do that when you're playing football?
No, sir. No.
So I was somewhere between either Madhya Pradesh or Uttar Pradesh, early morning. After a full night's riding, I stop for in a dhaba for a tea and to eat something. And I always fix my own motorcycle because when you're so much on the road, you don't want to give it to anybody. So my chain has become little slack. This is a problem with the old bikes, yes, these days. Every bike, even now it happens, except the Harleys, they have belts, it's terrible. How could you ride on a belt? So chain has become slack, you need to take off a link and tighten it up. So I saw a garage, Mubarak Mechanical Works, it was written, a handwritten board. Then I thought, there was a young, strapping young youth. I thought, okay, let him do it. I said, hey, why don't you tighten my chain? Then he, full of confidence, he came out. The only tools that he was carrying in his hands was a chisel and a hammer. I looked at his tool thing, I said, wait, before you touch my motorcycle, you don't have anything else? No, I can do it, chain, I can tighten it. I said, wait. I got up and walked into his garage and looked around. There was no other tool except chisel and hammer. With this chisel and hammer, he fixes everything. But after he fixes, that's the end of it. Nobody else can open anything or close anything after that. So, if you're using your intellect only, disregarding other dimensions of intelligence within you, this is how life will be. Mubarak Mechanical Works, Mubarak.
I hope you got the point. I'm actually speechless. I made some points in my
No,
head.
that's because you're good at talking to yourself.
That's a valid point. It's only sometimes, guys. Next time I miss a goal, it's all right, man. He talks to himself. He's not going to score. That's only sometimes. There are so many kids over here, and one of the questions that I thought of asking you, sir, is the same question that I asked my teacher. When I was young, one of my economics teacher asked me, why do you keep wasting your time playing on the football pitch?